Greetings, travelers, and welcome back to another tutorial. This one was by request from one of my viewers, and this is going to be, as you saw from the intro, Tinker's Mechworks. Now, this is a really small mod. Most people know it from the Drawbridges, and I think the question was more about some of the other items that show up in NEI. So I'll touch base on those and explain what they are, but they currently don't have a recipe, and there's a reason for that. So we'll cover just the basics on the Drawbridges, and those of you who may not be aware, so there's 3 different types of Drawbridges. You have the basic, you have the extended, and then you have the advanced. Now, there are benefits to each one of these. And then one of the other items that you can make is the igniter. So we'll start with the basic drawbridge. The basic drawbridge is just that. Now it has a limited number of items, no matter what you put in there. So, you know, you can only put a full stack in there, but when power is applied, or redstone signal is applied, it's only going to go, refresh my memory, I believe it was 16 blocks. And that's it. No matter how much is in there. And the advanced drawbridge, or extended drawbridge, that one, however, and let's do that. This one goes the full 64 blocks when you apply your signal. And there it goes. And it will go until it uses. Now, theoretically, if you could do 128 blocks in a stack, I think it would continue going. But, you know, realistically, it's going to be a problem within loaded chunks. You know, each player only loads, even though you can see, chunks loaded are not that far. So to get to a point where it hits an unloaded chunk and it would either stop or cause problems on your game or the server. And of course, you remove the redstone signal, everything gets sucked back in. Now, the advanced drawbridge, however, that's got a different kind of inventory. And I actually prefer this one myself. But the biggest thing is the fact that it can do different kinds of blocks. We'll just pick a few here at random. So the way that the inventory is set up is you literally can put any pattern of blocks that you want, and it will put them out in the order that you have them in there. Like so. Now, you can actually change the direction. Now, what that means is, right now, it's as if it was placed by a player. So it goes, you know, you place a log facing from this direction, it's most likely going to, if it was against something, going to face you. You can actually force that direction differently. So let me show you. And you have the same feature on all of these, so it'll do the same. But let's say we go like this, and then we do this. Well, that didn't work like it's supposed to. Maybe a feature that's broken in the version I'm using. Let's do that, see what happens. Yeah, I think that's broken. Alright, so it's supposed to, and apparently my version is not working. It's a bug. You place it mostly for stairs, so if you want stairs to go out in a specific way so that people can walk up them, you do that for the facing. It's supposed to do the same for the logs, but it's not working. So let's try this with the stairs and make sure it's just, maybe it's been changed. Let's grab some stairs. We'll put this back to the center. Put that back. And we'll do this. And go here and do this. And then, so now you'll see the direction the stairs go. Alright, pull it back in. And we will do that way. I think is actually that particular function is bugged. Oh, nope, there it goes. So you see, now they're actually facing a different direction. So let's say you had this coming out from a wall and you had a staircase. You could have them do it so that they would go lead up instead of, say, maybe a big wall. That way they're facing the right way when they're placed. So the igniter, however, that is just simply, you could actually replicate the same thing using anything that right clicks, using a flint and steel, so like a dispenser, depending on the mod you have, autonomous activator, pretty much anything that can right click with a item, and that's all it is. Considering a dispenser is very much cheaper, probably better to do it that way. But that's what this does. So it has its own redstone signal mechanic as well for long distance, and it uses these things, signal terminals. So I'll show you what those do. And you will need a signal bus to either extend the length. They'll only go about 15-16 blocks from the bus or the terminal to the bus, and then from the bus to the next terminal. So you could use these, put another one here, another one here, just to keep extending it as far as you need to. But you will need to make spools of wire, and you just right click on the terminal and then the bus, and that connects it. Alright, and then you would put it on, we'll do another set of terminals here, and then the same thing. You just connect from the bus to the terminal, or the terminal to the bus again. There you go. Now, the side benefit of this is now you have wiring. If you get the power, they're pretty picky on placement. They really pick up the redstone signal only from the block that they're facing, and then output from the same block that they're facing. So that's a key thing to remember. And they do have colors, so using an open hand, you just click on the white section to change the color, and it's all 16 color Minecraft colors, and that's how you can have, say a control panel with these going to different areas, just so that you know. And this will continue. If the fire goes out, it'll just light a new one. That may be the benefit over a dispenser, because dispenser is once and you got to hit the signal. This one will continue to do it if the fire goes out. See? Indefinitely. So, alright, so the last bit of items. The dynamo and the filters. Now the filters are supposed to be for literally filtering entities, items, blocks. I did a little bit of playing. There is no recipe because they haven't been fully implemented yet. But the theory behind them was you could set up an elaborate system where you could filter out different types of items and entities using these blocks. Since they're creative mode only and there's no recipe, we won't go into depth about it. I know that according to a lot of the sources, they had other plans for Tinker's Mechworks that just haven't quite played out yet. But one thing that I saw with these filters that I could think of using, if they had a recipe, is since they don't pass entities, and these ones here, because I've been testing, what you could do is set these up as a floor in, say, one of the mob drop spawners, where the mobs drop, hit the floor, and die. And the items they drop will fall through the floor to whatever collection. So if you wanted to go old school and use water to move things around, then you could have them fall into the water. The enemies would die, the items fall in the water, and the water carries it off to whatever hopper storage system you have. Assuming you only have, this mod and no other mods in. Quite honestly, you can make a much more efficient mob spawner system using, say, extra utilities and the item nodes with the world interaction upgrade. But it's still, if this was the only mod you put in there and you're going to play creative, because that's the only way you're going to get these filters, that would be one way you could do it, going old school. The Dynamo is another item. Again, no recipe. It's just a nifty looking thing. Doesn't do anything, provides some light. Maybe you could use it as a creative light source just for the looks and aesthetics. But again, they had plans to implement a whole Steam system, and that has not come into fruition yet. And I say yet because, mods sometimes go dormant for a while. Somebody picks it up, and then they come back, and it gets all the things that they wanted. But, folks, that is it for this tutorial. Really hoped it helped. Like I said, it was a really short one by request. The biggest thing, I think, was the filters and the Dynamo, and unfortunately, those are both not implemented fully. So there really wasn't much to go by, but the big thing, hopefully, it kind of lets everybody know the difference between the different drawbridges and gives you some ideas for uses. I've used them in my mod pack to do doors, giant doors, to make it look like they're coming, gates coming down. But that's going to be it. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below. Links to Patreon, my Twitter, Facebook, player.me, however you want to get a hold of me. You guys have a great day.